Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Maria Peterson. How's it going? Exciting news, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, which may seem like a small number in comparison, but to me it's a big deal, and I'm really thankful for each and every one of you. I have a very big day today, lots to do, lots happening. I'm going to be hitting most areas of my house, cleaning out the fridge. I really need to clean my stove grates, like the things you cook on. And so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just knock everything off the list and get it all done. And I'm gonna take you with me. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you stay for the video. My name is Maria Peterson and I cover things like cleaning, organizing, food, and just kind of overall mom life. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm also a certified personal trainer, so I like to just dribble in little bits of nutrition and exercise when I can. Every Monday, I upload a Meal Prep Monday to show you the food that I'm prepping for the week, just for like lunches and sometimes breakfast. And yeah, so if you're into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. But other than that, I'm gonna just get started. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to start off in the refrigerator, obviously, but I'm just getting everything cleared out. Honestly, the refrigerator wasn't that bad. I have found that the more organized my fridge is, the cleaner I'm able to keep it and the less food that I waste. I used to not have like containers or anything to really separate everything out, or I would just keep things in Tupperware or keep it in like the little bags you get it like produce from the grocery store. And I was constantly throwing things away or forgetting things and just kind of losing things in the fridge. But as I've kind of streamlined my fridge, is that a thing? I don't know. I've made my fridge more organized and it has helped my fridge stay pretty clean, actually. But it did need like a good solid wipe down, and I just kind of needed to go through and see if there was anything that might have been past due. And honestly, I only found like some stale bread, and that was about it that I got rid of. But I'm using just a thieves cleaner. I'm spraying it and wiping it out, and I'm going to pull everything out, reorganize it, wipe it down, and then get it all back in the refrigerator. So one of the cool things about my fridge is basically every compartment comes out, which I don't think is like abnormal. I think a lot of fridges do that, but I've had some that weren't as easy to get apart. And I have taken these drawers out and just put them in the dishwasher. And I thought I would need to, but once I kind of got going and got in there, I found that they really weren't that bad, so I didn't bother with it. But if you are in a situation where it's just really dirty, from my experience, most of the drawers can just go in the dishwasher. I put it on the bottom because that's where it fits and just run it on like a regular cycle, and I've not had any problems. So take that for what it's worth. And I did remember I found some very dead jalapenos in the produce drawer. So it was more than just stale bread, but not much more than stale bread. And then I ate the Chinese food leftovers for lunch so that I wouldn't have to put them back into the fridge. This is my favorite feature of my refrigerator, is the tiny drinks door. I don't know, you can knock on it and it lights up. But look at the fridge. It looks so good. It's so clean and shiny and organized, and it still looks like this. And I did this a couple of days ago. So look at all those containers. Everything is in its spot. Everything is organized. Very exciting. I'm really happy that the fridge is clean again. Also, those produce keepers are awesome. I will link them in the description box. They're awesome. And now I'm just going to get the stainless steel wipe down, and I'm still just using the thieves cleaner. This stuff, I don't hate it. I've only been using it for a short amount of time, and I actually really like it, and my house smells really good, and that's always a plus. The microwave always hit the hardest by the fingerprints because it's stainless steel, and I will use like the knuckle of my finger to push the door open and press all the buttons so you don't leave like a fingerprint, but nobody else in my house does because they aren't, I don't know, crazy. I don't know. So I still have to clean fingerprints off. But if it were just me and I was the only one using that microwave, I would never have to wipe it off because it would never have any fingerprints on it. I decided not to clean the ovens or anything because really they weren't that bad. I stay on top of just kind of keeping things wiped out and keeping crumbs out. But those stove grates were terrible. They were so gross. And I'm using the Dawn Power Wash. This stuff is magic. I was skeptical. And I figured, what's the difference between that and just the regular Dawn dish soap? And there is a difference. They're not the same thing. You can't cut corners with this, but this stuff's really good. And you just start seeing like all the grease and everything just kind of dripping off of it, and it works really, really quick. And I love it. And so I'm also using a Scrub Daddy, which is also awesome. These things are really cool too. But I'm just getting it all wiped down. I didn't need to use any type of special degreaser or anything. It's just the power spray, a little bit of water, and a Scrub Daddy sponge, and everything got clean, and it didn't take very long at all, which is the best part. Wasn't that water so gross? With the black grates, you don't realize just how gross it is. And it was so gross. And also, it was not lost on me that my sweet, adorable son used the microwave right after I cleaned it. Oh, my heart. I'm just getting the grates all rinsed off and everything. I'm going to wipe down the stove. The stove actually wasn't too gross, which I'm always thankful for. So I'm just wiping that off with the thieves cleaner and a microfiber cloth. I was using paper towels with the fridge and everything, and then decided that I would treat the environment better and switch to the microfiber cloth. And it's not as streaky on the black top of the stove. And now I'm cleaning off the counter. I just decided to clean the whole thing with the power spray. I did rinse the rag and everything. I'm not just using the gross, disgusting rag that I just cleaned everything up with. I don't know. I didn't put any clips in there showing me not using the gross rag. So I guess, you know, you're going to think what you're going to think, but I didn't. It's a clean rag, I promise. So I wasn't going to clean the hood, but once I got everything else cleaned up, I looked up and realized that the hood was super gross. So I decided to clean it. And I usually keep this thing kind of wiped down, and I don't know what I've been cooking recently, but this thing was so greasy. I originally got up there and was just going to clean it with the thieves, but I couldn't even like wipe it because my rag, like I kept losing grip on my rag because it was getting stuck in all the grease. So Dawn to the rescue, and I sprayed it down with Dawn. I wiped it off with a wet towel, and now I'm drying it with just a dry microfiber cloth. And I did do the same thing with the counter. I wiped it with a wet rag once I sprayed it with the soap, and then I wiped it off with a dry cloth as well. And then once I did that, I realized that the grates were also really gross. And I had just cleaned these, and I've been racking my brain trying to think, like, what have I been doing? I can't think of it, but I went to just spray it, and look how gross that is. It's so gross. Like, it's a completely different color. I'm embarrassed. Actually, I'm not. I'm okay with it. I'm putting up cleaning videos of my gross house. I'm not embarrassed at all. But I just cleaned them with the Dawn spray, and I decided to just kind of rinse them, but watch the water. This is gross. I'm going to stop talking, and we're just going to watch this together. That was gross. I did clean the counters after I did that, but I didn't include that in the video. But now I am going to mop. I feel like I've talked about it before. I'm not a huge fan of mopping. I don't like it. I have been trying to decide on the wet dry vacuum mop magical machines, and I can't make a decision. There was even a discount on one on Prime Day, and I was very close to getting it, but then I couldn't pull the trigger. And I know people have suggested things like a Bissell and is it Tenneco? I'm not sure how to say it, but there's so many options. I don't know which one is the best. And I worry that I'm getting a lame one if I just pick one. So I don't know. I might need to do like a poll on Instagram or something and just have people help me come up with the perfect wet dry vac. Is that what they're called? I don't know. I want one really, really bad, but I think I want it too bad, and I'm worried that I'm going to pick the wrong one. So I'm just sticking to my O-Cedar bucket, and my floors will only get mopped occasionally, but someday I will have the magical vacuum, and my floors, you'll be able to eat off them at all times. I would not eat off of them right now, though. I would, though, as a personal trainer, I would point out that just doing it the old-fashioned way and mopping this way is way more of an arm workout. And I'm all about functional strength training. So, you know, maybe I'm the smarter one, and you should stop using your fancy vacuums, because you'll get more exercise if you vacuum in the OG way. I'm gonna get one of those vacuums, don't you worry. Now I'm upstairs in the kids' bathroom. I finished downstairs except for putting everything back together, but it all needs to dry, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But I do need to clean my kids' bathtub, and that includes sanitizing their toys. I do this like quarterly. I should probably do it more often, but I don't think about it. But also they weren't that gross, so there's that. But I got this new fancy scrubber. My girl Trish at Miller Family Vibes, she had it in her last cleaning video, and I instantly ordered it because it looked so cool. It has all of these attachments, and this thing is powerful. And you know what? I even saw that you can get it in pink. So if you're into that, it comes in pink, I think. Well, that was a fun sentence. But it's got like harder scrubbers. It's got like the squishy sponge, and it had like the soft polishing one. Like, this thing's cool, and this thing's powerful. I was really impressed. It got like some of the like toy scuffs off of the plastic that I hadn't been able to get off with anything else. And my bath looks really, really good. And I'm just cleaning this with the Dawn Power Spray. I just kind of use that on everything today, except the floors I did mop with just water and thieves cleaner in it. But Alice was very excited about the scrubber. All of my kids had been waiting all week for me to use this thing. But my boys were playing Minecraft, and so I stopped existing to them once they started playing Minecraft. So they missed the scrubber, but Alice was all for it, and she was able to use it and be helpful with it. And this thing's really, really cool. I'll link it in the description box, and I'll link Trisha's link in there just because she's the one that got me on it, and it's so cool. And she helped me with my decision because she already had it and she already tested it out. And so I didn't have to think too hard about it, which is nice. I can make decisions. I just overthink things sometimes. Like, big purchases are hard. You want to make the right one and not waste your money. But I'm just rinsing all the toys. They sat for like 15 minutes, and I'm rinsing them and letting them dry. And I'm going to move on to the toilet. I was reading the Clorox toilet wand thing, like the instructions, because I do read instructions sometimes. And it talked about you can sanitize versus just cleaning. And so I opted for the sanitize. You scrub it, and then you leave it sitting there for like 10 minutes, and then you rinse it. And apparently that sanitizes your toilet. And so I gave it a go, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know a great way to test that, but my toilet was clean, and so that's fine. And I'm just using a water and vinegar spray for everything else. So I wiped the toilet down with that while it was getting sanitized. And now I'm cleaning the rest of the bathroom with it. Vinegar is magical and awesome. I did use a Clorox spray on the toys, but by the time I was spraying the vinegar spray, which is diluted, the bleach had already like dissipated, and it wasn't like straight bleach. It was a cleaner mix, so it wasn't super strong. So I didn't make like noxious gas in my bathroom. But if you do use bleach and vinegar, just be careful. It's kind of out of my scope of practice, so I can't really advise you on that. But I'm now just mopping the floors. Again, it's a vinegar water mix, and the bathroom's clean. And we're going to move on to the next task, which is my kids' Lego room, which I often pretend doesn't exist.
We are wanderers, nothing can stop us. We are wanderers, we are wanderers, we are wanderers, we are wanderers.
This room ends up being kind of the catch-all. It's technically a guest bed room. My husband just took the mattress and leaned it up against the wall, like behind the door. It's secured. It's not going to crush my children. But I also have their old beds, like their old bunk bed and Alice's crib still in here, because you can't just donate cribs anymore, at least in my area. And like, I don't know, I just haven't been able to find a home for it, or the bunk beds. But if I'm being honest, I haven't tried very hard, because it's out of sight, out of mind, right? So they're in here. I am going to make an effort to try to get rid of them before the end of the month. So check in with me. If you're here and it's the end of July 2023, say, hey, Rhea, did you get rid of those beds? So this is kind of a storage area. We are going to set it up as more of like a homework area for our kids. And my husband's a computer engineer, so he wants to set it up so that they can like learn how to program or something. But right now it's the Lego room, and we're just using what like available surfaces we have for them to use. So I'm just trying to make it a little bit more functional and less unsafe. So that's what I'm doing, but I had to clean up all of the Legos first. And my kids should have helped me, but it was just kind of a battle that I was not going to have with them, because I just wanted to get it done. So they do clean up their Legos, but I just didn't make them do it today. Alice conveniently didn't show up until after I had cleaned up all of the Legos. So There you go. And now I'm in their playroom, also cleaning up the mess that they left in the playroom. I was that mom that didn't make my kids clean up any of their toys. They do their part, but today I just wanted to get it done because I had things to do, and I don't need to make excuses. So now I'm cleaning up their toys. This wouldn't have taken very long, but I discovered that their version of putting things away was different than the version of putting things away that we had agreed on. So I was just kind of fixing a few miscategorized items, and then I'm putting the two bees away. I hate these things. Ugh, they'd put a snake in one. They end up like, you're supposed to build like forts and cool things with like this in theory is a very cool toy, but they just end up being swords and spears at my house. It has to, like, it gets out of hand. So they get confiscated for large amounts of time, and then they get to play with them again up until, boundaries are crossed, and then they go back up where they can't get them. That might not be the perfect way to handle that, but that's the way we're handling it, and no one's ended up in the hospital. So I just really wanted to get this room vacuumed because I wanted to vacuum everywhere, but I figured I'm not just going to vacuum and push all the toys out of the way. I might as well just clean up the whole room and finish it up. And that is what I did. So I'm just going to get everything else vacuumed up. I am going to do a mom tidy of the boys' room. I don't do this every time. They keep their room pretty clean. But I'm going to do my version of cleaning up their room today. I do it every once in a while.
You're my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you. You and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young forever. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be. What
Well, now the vacuuming is all done and the laundry room is tidied up. And there's a load of towels in the washing machine. So much accomplished. I am just rinsing out the filters in our vacuum. We've had this Shark vacuum for years. I don't even think you can get this one anymore, and I wouldn't know what the equivalent is, but it's a good vacuum. I really like a good corded vacuum upstairs because we have a lot of carpet. But other than that, all we have left is putting the kitchen back together. And that is everything. I really appreciate you being here. I'm so thankful, especially if you made it to the end of the video. If you're not already, don't forget to like and subscribe. But other than that, everything is clean and my house looks amazing, and that just makes me so happy. But thank you again so much for your time. I so appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.